What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Mythos, and the guy in the middle there is Oni,
Thank you.
and we have a special guest with us. Of course, it is the man, the myth, and legend, Eighth Emperor Elstonation.
Yeah, kids are yelling, yay.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know you guys could hear those.
Yeah, I could hear it. I was like, oh, cool, I get to be involved. Yay.
Thank you for the help with the intro. I can't wait.
Usually, there's a freak between my intro and your intro, so usually have more time to prep.
Bless him. I miss him. It's a shame he couldn't be here tonight. That would be nice, but oh well.
Freak has had a rough week at work, and he is toasted tonight.
That's absolutely fine. I know the feeling. And sometimes I'm toasted, and it's only Wednesday.
All right. I'm going to be super professional because one thing I have not gotten down yet is how to share this before going live, like I can do with Streamlabs. So be super professional and take a minute to share real quick. Book face. Boom.
Book face. Let's go.
And we will share to the Discord.
The Discord.
Say what?
The Discord.
The Discord.
The Discord. Ah, you've gone French. Not very good at doing accents, but yes, the Discord.
I'm awful at doing accents and singing, but it doesn't stop me from doing either.
I am atrocious at accents. If I try to do an accent, I can keep it up for all of 3 seconds, and then it will morph into one other random accent on the planet. And
I was about to say, and then they all become somehow
yes,
the Mongolian wizard.
Yes, yeah. My default throwback, the Mongolian wizard. Why is it you can only do Mongolian wizard? Well, it's very easy to do a Mongolian wizard. Just do this, and it's so unique. Cannot change it. Although sometimes it slips into Russian, a bit like what I'm doing right now. Russia and Mongolia, they're close, right?
Oh no, it occurs to me I do not have our link tree up tonight. I'll have to make sure to post that in the chat as we go.
Is he doing a Japanese? Possibly.
All right, boom. Do you want to pay Facebook money to create an ad? No, I do not.
No, I don't want to give you money. I don't want to give you money so I can make money. That's not how this works.
One of these days you might fool me, Facebook, but not today.
Today is not that day. Soft light. We'll go with that. I'm relatively whited out because I need some kind of light. I'm doing hobbying this evening as well, so I'll probably have 3 things done by the end of this. But yar. No, we go to pirate mode now. Yay!
It's funny. Whenever I'm doing my Irish accent, it almost always morphs into a pirate accent. Drives my wife absolutely crazy.
They're close. They are close. Like the whole pirate and Irish. It's all very much. It's kind of like that in southwest England. It's like me, Frodo Baggins and all that stuff. And it's Frodo Baggins in like the West Country accent is a bit more. It's a little bit higher in the mouth, so it's oh hello Mr. Frodo, and it gets a little bit. Whereas Irish, I think, is a bit more guttural. I'm saying as if I know how to do the accent because I will try this and it just will not come out properly. I can do Frodo actually. Frodo's easy because it's my native area. So I've had years and years of listening to people go, Oh, hello, sir. How are you doing today? I can do that really easily.
Talk only in a Hobbit voice challenge. I would fail
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, we can do that. I can teach you what happens when the Hobbit sounds drunk because that's really fun.
I
Because
was just saying that never happens.
yeah, the amount of times I was down my local, and there's a guy called Tony, and he was always drunk. Always drunk. He'd walk in, and he'd be drunk. He's the nicest guy on the planet, but he's always drunk. Sometimes driving in, you're like the amount of times Tony would crash the car and ditch. With never hurt
Okay,
anyone.
I'm shared everywhere. I've been shared. Holy crap. I knew this was a cult, says XNX. Superfly checking in.
I've been shared.
I see you're all making time to paint. Heck yeah. You do the best accents, says our brother G, the Hypersapien. Also funkin' hungry. Is he doing a Japanese? Ah, same thing.
Yes.
Let's hear it, Mythos. I love getting on my wife's nerves sometimes, and I just do the. I do be talking in an Irish accent. I've got termites in me leg. Don't confuse a dwarf with an Irish person, even though they're all small. I don't know. There's some big, beefy Irish dudes out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
I gotta say, like, I don't know if Irish are renowned for being small. Like, they got other things going, but small, not so much.
All right. Just because I'm in the mood for it, and how often can I actually have a brew of sorts with my brother from across the pond? I am going to have me a Guinness tonight. Although because of the
Yeah.
pancreatitis, it's a non-alcoholic Guinness, but it's Guinness nonetheless.
Ah, okay. You a fan of Guinness?
I love Guinness. It's my second favorite beer.
That was your first.
It's a Texas beer called Shiner Bock.
Shiner Bock.
Yep.
That's a name.
Named after German Bock beers.
Ah, that's where Ben got it from. We did a stream once with Ben from Benji's Hobbies, and Luke was on there. We like asking what everyone was drinking. Then Ben said Super Bock, and Luke gave him such a hard time. But that makes way more sense now. Ah, Bock is a thing.
I didn't know you had Irish blood in you, G. He says, I have Irish blood. I'm allowed to diss them. Is the non-alcoholic Guinness delicious? It's as delicious as a man with pancreatitis can get. It is missing a little something of the original Guinness, I will admit, but it's as close as I can get. Chat, have a beer with me. Cheers. Take the first sip. All right. You are just all kinds of international, my brother. So G is, of course, British transplant living in Australia who's half Irish, apparently.
There we go. Gee, I'm a cultural man.
All right, so we're all painting tonight. We're having us a hangout. And what are you gents painting tonight?
I'm painting Iron Warriors. So your camera is not going to focus on that for anything, but it's like a kind of punky mohawk going on.
I dig it. And that's out of the new box set, huh?
Yeah, it's a kit bash between that and the Chaos Smith.
Nice.
That and I've got a Kratos I'm working on.
Nice. Oh, it's always so good to see some tank power.
Yeah.
In Iron Warriors colors.
Tank's cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm probably going to be working on this evening. How about yourself?
I've been super ADD this week. So I've worked a little bit more on my Grot Killacan conversion from these skid loaders.
Ah, that's where that was. I was on Pickle stream and we saw that in the background. I was like, what is this?
And tonight I'm going to be working on the basing for another one of my Imperial Guard sergeants.
Cool. Nice.
And I've got, so each of them has, I've got 5 squads currently. Each of them has a melt-gun. So I'm working on 5 melt-gun dudes.
Oh, wunderbar.
And then, because I'm not ADD enough, I have 3 heavy weapons teams sitting around. And so I've started on them as well, because
Cool.
I need 5 heavy weapons teams for a game in 2 weeks. So yeah, there's lots of Imperial Guard going on right now. And then, of course, I have here already primed up and ready to get some green on them is 2 autocannon teams, because I have 3 last cannon teams and 2 autocannon teams in this list in 2 weeks.
I love those models. The fact they've got like big shield things on the team.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I really like it.
Funkin says, stocky guy, beefy. Could you ask Elstonation what happened to that regular show he used to be on with Pickle and the stocky guy from Yorkshire?
Chiller More Gamers. Oh yeah. I can give you guys a little bit of a kind of heads up on it. Basically, like Spud kind of wanted to do like not YouTube anymore. He kind of had enough, basically. So we just kind of went our separate ways and everything like that. So, I tend to jump on live streams with Pickle every now and again, but Spud's quite happy. We check in from time to time. He's just doing his thing. I miss it, but yeah, life is life. It does those things from time to time.
I think we've been like, you've been doing it, I think, about a year longer than we have. And I think we've all been doing it about 6-7 years now. And it's I mean, it's bittersweet because people move on to things that they want to do more than they're doing now, but it's good to see them doing what they enjoy. But yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of people start channels and then
go away again.
And then decide that they're done with that part in their journey. And of course, he may come back and do it later. We never know, or he just may move on to the next journey.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know something scary, Mythos?
What's that?
I've been doing it a decade.
I didn't realize. Nick had his 10-year anniversary this year. I didn't realize you were up there too. And by Nick, I mean eating beer.
Yeah, we're very much in the same kind of category of like. And I've seen people. That's the most tragic thing. A lot of the times, you see people that are far larger, and you're like, oh, they've been doing it a tenth of the time I've been doing it.
I mean, that's fair. We've been doing it 6 years, and we still can't get over our 1,000. But I mean, we don't put any work into it anymore. So. And we just hit the live button every Friday.
I think that was also one of Spud's things as well. He's like, I want to be bigger. I was like, well, you got to put the work in. And he's like, but I'm really lazy. I was like, no.
That's what I've come to accept. I like doing the streams, but as far as making the time for videography, video editing, and of course, I don't have a lot of the knowledge on how to make the videos and stuff like that filmed well and look good and get the lighting right and stuff like that. And so I would need to educate myself. And I mean, just to be honest, it's just easy to hit the live button every Friday.
That's it, because it's like a lot of it's like planning and stuff, and you've got to come up with ideas for this stuff, and it has to be like you have to think of it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like my most recent video with the whole Titan thing, I was like, granted, that was a relatively quick idea, but it was still something I had to like think of a couple of days beforehand to be like, okay, if I'm going to set this up, we're going to try. And when you're filming it as well, you're like, please God, I hope this bloody works. Like, I really, because otherwise you're just doing this really dumb thing to no one that's wasting a load of time, a load of setup, and you're like, I really really hope this works, because otherwise, this is kind of retarded. So, yeah.
Going back to our earlier conversation,
Mhm.
Axe says, my family came over to America from Ireland, but they came over to Ireland from Scotland and left America to come to Canada. That's interesting.
So where?
Very similarly, so I'm Asian American, and of course the Caucasian side of my family is pretty direct. There is uh, some Italian and some English that eventually came over to America, and they settled in Kentucky, and they became Southerners. But for the Asian side of my family, is largely a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of India, and largely Chinese people all migrated to Thailand and then settled in Thailand. And then that family grew for generations and generations. So it was like a lot of generations of just Thai. And then eventually, in like one generation, they all picked up and moved to America. Uh, marrying most of them by marrying American soldiers and stuff like that. So
So, yeah, so I heard an interesting fact the other day. Apparently, it's something like 3% of the world descend from Genghis Khan. Like, apparently, like
I can.
he was at
He
it.
was busy. It's like,
Like,
when did he have time for fighting?
yeah, and to the point where he made, yeah, 3% of the current population of the world, which doesn't sound a lot when you say 3%, but then when you're like, there's
Out of
7 billion,
billions.
yeah, there's 7 billion people on the planet, 3%, that's a lot of people.
That man needed a hobby.
Maybe he had a hobby and it's not what we normally think as a hobby.
G says, will you be picking up the new Army box, which is now live? At least it is over
In
on his
Australia.
side of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not here
You know, there's
yet.
a lot of cool stuff in it. I really just want the book out of it. I'm negotiating with a friend who's getting multiple boxes to start his guard army. See if I can get the book out of that. But it's funny because before they announced this box, just by a couple of months, I started collecting my guard army, and it started with, first I got a piece of guard, a couple of pieces of Imperial Guard destroyed ruined tank for terrain. I painted that up, and I said, "Oh, I think I paint a pretty tank." And then so Atlas is like, "Hey, I can get you some extra Lehman Russes if you want to paint not a ruined tank but a full thing." And I said, "Okay." And so then he brought me one, or no, he brought me one off the get go. He's like, "Hey, you can have." He's such a generous guy, but in a way, he did the drug dealer thing because he said, "You can have this one for free," and I painted it up, and I loved it. And so
cool people
then,
in the world that do this.
and then he hooked me up with two more, which I made into demolisher tanks. And by that point, after I painted up my first one, before he gave me the other two, I went ahead and picked up 40 guardsmen from Atlantic War Games. And now I have 60 guardsmen. And now I have 12 heavy weapon teams.
And now I can't stop listing the
Yes.
stuff that I have. Because I have to try and keep my memory in check.
Chimeras, manticores, sentinels. I've got a large army now. I'm saying all that to say, I'm not just sitting here like, I has a new army. But
I got stuff.
I have most of the box without the box now because I've been collecting my guard army leading up to this because they hadn't even announced the box when I started collecting my guard. And now I'm like, these things are all cool. And they're brand new sculpts, which is awesome, but they're a little redundant to what I have now, except for, of course, the new field ordnance batteries. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to talk about working on hobby-wise. I had picked up a couple of weeks ago because I have 9 mortars. Right, I'm going a little mortar heavy because it's a Acadian thing, right?
Okay, yeah, I got that.
And so I wanted to experiment with the Forge World Heavy mortars, but then they came out with a new Bomb Blast Field Ordnance battery, which is basically a heavy mortar, right?
Right.
And so I picked these up from Etsy, and I'm like, okay, these are going to be some pretty cool
Cool.
field ordnance batteries. So I got a couple of bomb blast guns now. So I just got to stick 3 guardsmen on them.
They look a little bit like the little Cyclops, but with a big gun on it.
Yeah, just a little bit bigger. In fact, I've got. Yeah, so here is a Cyclops. And his big brother. Don't you ever talk to me or my son again.
Cool.
So I've been working on guard stuff, and if I had focused, I probably would have a couple of these projects done right now. But instead, I put together these ordnance batteries. I started painting the heavy weapons team. I almost finished the melta guns. I've just been doing bits and pieces of everything instead of actually getting anything done.
Yes, the joy of multiple projects all at once. Know that feeling all too well.
I wish I could just focus on an army like you do and just be like.
It's not. It doesn't. I make it seem like that. It's not like that. The big illusion that is Elstonation of oh yes, I do all. The results kind of I try to tell people, I'm like, it's really not what you think. It's just the fact that most people don't post I finished this army. They're like, I've done a squad, and you're like, cool. I'm just I've done an army, and then 2 months go by, and you don't hear from me at all. It's complete radio silence, and that's what most people don't. They're like, oh, yeah, you get loads. You're super fast. I'm like, you haven't heard from me for 2 months at all. Not a peep. No word whatsoever. Everyone else is talking, having fun with their friends. I am here. I was like,
you kind of do the isolation chamber thing, the hyper. What do they call it in Dragon Ball Z? The hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah. So I'm like, but mainly because I've got friends. I don't like going outside that much anymore. So, and I've got a massive OCD for finishing things. But it's it's not that special. I'm a nerd that paints a lot. Anyone can do it. Anyone. It's easy. But it's not easy. Anyway, yeah.
Brother Atlas says, between your orcs and your guard, you've been painting a lot of green. I have. But intentionally different shades of green. Ironically, my recipe for doing my orcs is the salamander's recipe. And my recipe for doing Imperial Guard is the orcs recipe. Raw flesh and war boss green.
So kind of possibly, don't want to say it, but possibly got a little bit lazy with the color choices there. It's kind of I've done this one. Can I carry on doing that same color over here? Yes, I can. So yes, why not?
That's fair. Lots of love for Spud in the chat. I always miss Spud.
Yeah.
We all have our own roads to travel, absolutely, and all we can do is wish people the best on their next journey.
Yeah.
Or whatever journey they're on.
As well, it's the fact that he started exercising a lot, and so he basically turned into a jock, and he went through a weird metamorphosis of a nerd going into a cocoon and coming out as really physically active, and
hey baby.
Yeah. It's what do I do with this newfound power where I'm really ripped and women want to spend time with me? What do I do with this? And
Mini Warmutt, Mrs. Spud calling him Mini Warbutt.
Yeah, the fact that he couldn't pronounce anything correctly was amazing.
Is Edict Beer the longest running Necron show channel in the world? I don't know many others, but he definitely found a niche and said, I'm going to make this mine. And yeah, it's really, really worked out, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, gee, the Hyper Sapien, Funkin' Hungry. Is anyone picking up the Golf Rocker?
Yeah, I
Okay,
probably will.
yeah, I love that thing. And those who don't know, and I don't have it near me, or I'd show you guys, but I've already started doing kind of a weird music thing with my orcs.
Mm,
So like I did my bone breaker conversion, and because I didn't have a hard top on the used battle wagon I bought, I
mm.
made one and it looked a little plain, so I built it up and it became a little stage. And I had this guitarist rocking grot on top from Foxbox Miniatures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I made up a whole little stage with lights and speakers and stuff like that. And then for October, Ravensrook was doing an orc conversion challenge. And so I needed or I wanted to play with a mech with shock attack gun, but I was inspired by a piece my brother Atlas picked up for me, this little drummer here. It's an
Mm.
orc drummer. It's
Nice.
from the old fantasy, I
Oh yeah,
think,
yeah.
but it's got a 40K head on it, and I decided to carry on with that. And so I plugged an amp into it with wires and stuff like that, made an
Yeah.
electric drum. I put this big Tau gun on with like noise marine speakers on front
Nice.
and some Orky bits here. Just Orky bits all over, a little engine part here, a couple of engine bits on here. And then I used an Orc stick bomb and a Melt-A-Bomb to make a microphone for this Orc knob who's screaming into the microphone, and plugged all that into this big speaker. And that's going to
Nice.
be my shock attack gun. So I've got like a musical thing going with my orcs right now. And so I'm going to have to get the orc rocker to keep the theme going.
I
Not
mean,
just
it was kind of obvious, like on a lot of things when Mad Max came out. It was just like seeing that with all the like music and rock. It was like there's definitely going to be a lot of orc armies doing this. But yeah, it's a real. I just love orcs in that essence of just like going, all right, guys, let's do a band. 'Cause,
exactly.
yeah,
The golf rocker is it's their Christmas model, so it's kind of like the stuff that doesn't do anything, like the dwarf, the Christmas dwarf they did with the Grimball, where he's just holding up the mug of ale,
like
or
the
the
red goblin. Oh, it's the red.
the
No,
and
red
the red
goblin.
gobbo was another one.
Did he have actually? I'm sure they all get like some kind of like fun rules though, don't they? Just as a kind of throwaway thing, just to
Yeah, they
like.
all usually get some kind of fun, non-efficient rule just for funsies, and then they also encourage you that you can run him as something else, as a stand-in.
Hmm.
So, like, a lot of people I've seen use the red gobbo as, put a banner on the base and use it as Makari,
Okay, yeah, yeah, that
stuff
makes
like that. All the commemorative orcs have rules, but I get them because orcs. Of course you do, because wah.
yeah.
Oni, I promise I'm not I'm not trying to leave you out of this conversation. I'm just trying to get through the chat.
I don't really care.
Oni still got a sore throat, so Dave says
The less I talk, the better.
Genghis Khan is my dad. Cartel W has a full band. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Those look really cool.
Nice.
That's where the accent comes from, Elston.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a time to come into the show. Khan getting his freak on. Oh man, I'm really behind on the chat. I heard that every 5 minutes you breathe is a molecule of air that Julius Caesar also breathed in. Interesting. Waylander. Oh, you are also up early. If you just get the book, that's just get the book if that's what you need. Oh yeah, totally. And since I know a lot of people are going to be building up their guard with several iterations of the box, I don't think it'll be too hard to get a hand on the codex. I bet Imperial Guard are like when Ed Wood went into combat, terrified that if they get wounded in combat, the army will discover that they wear ladies' panties under their uniform. I mean, only because they're comfortable. I mean, nothing. Um, if you go back ancestors 2, 4, it doesn't take many generations before you have more than the population at the time. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think what we're on 7 billion now, but I remember how long ago was that? That would have been, I think, like 20 years ago. We were at 6 billion, and now we're at 7 billion. And I was like, ooh, that's a jump and a half in like 20 years. So yeah, we're all related somehow because we're all monkeys.
Y'all are my brothers.
Yeah.
Cadia stands. So many different greens. You know, it's funny because now that all of the guard detachments are all going to be under the same, it's, you know, they're all one army now, regardless of what you're playing. There is no Cadian army or Krieg army. There's really going to be no reason for everyone to, for the inter-regimental rivalry anymore.
Yeah, which is kind of cool and kind of sad at the same time. I can appreciate like having the theme of all at one, but I guess that's just you just model it that way. And I think that's what GW's probably wanting to do is just model it that way if you want it to be that way. Don't everyone be happy with each other. It's probably there, man.
All the water we drink was pissed out by dinosaurs. As I read that, I was going for a drink
Like,
and
ooh.
almost just subconsciously spit. Like, that's what gives it the nice flavor, G says. Okay, we are actually caught up. Oni, my man, my sick brother. What you painting tonight, baby? What you got for a poke chop?
Spend something in my Baton
Some
for,
Voton.
for
So,
that game that we're having for your birthday.
yeah, so we're actually both painting kind of to the same deadline here. I didn't pick up my airbrush while it was up earlier. I just got the beer. Well, yeah, so we're both kind of painting to the same deadline here.
No, I'm only painting. I'm only painting 20 models. The other one's just gonna be the gray.
Right
Not
on.
even bother to paint.
Waylander says, bring back Talarns and Praetorians.
If you want a Praetorian army, there's one on eBay at the moment.
Is it still up?
Yeah, it ends on Sunday.
Ends on Sunday. Let me snag those pictures so that way we can share them in case anybody would like to go to your eBay auction.
It's a little bit pricey at the moment, and it's not my doing. So
Is it the thing where you sold it to someone else and they're selling it in turn?
no, it's still me. It's all
Okay.
It's all still me. It's just the fact that I put it up for amount. It's doubled that amount, and it's a
Oh, with the
large
bidding?
amount. Yeah. It's
Hey,
like,
that's awesome to see that the bids have gone up so much.
yeah, there's 48 watches on it, which is rather on the large side for amount of watches for an item. But I think that might just be a lot of people going, Jesus Christ, how much is this actually going to go for?
Let's see. Oh, you know what? This would be so much easier to do on my phone.
Would you like me to send you the pics? Would that be
Oh,
easier?
or yes, that would be even easier.
Hang on a second.
Set my Oni free. Keegan says, I'm going to cheat on my Votan with the rattle can paint job. Man, whatever level of paint you're comfortable with, it's all gravy, man. Heck, putting some color on a model is more than some people do. And if you play it fully gray, that's fine too.
Yeah, man.
Whatever level you're comfortable with.
I like one of my best friends that I play with does no longer paints at all. But when we were gaming a lot more together, like didn't paint and regularly played with grey half assembled models. But we like it's a game at the end of the day. It's a goddamn game. Just have
Exactly.
fun. Just have fun.
I'm going to build all the bodies and then paint. Nice. I used to sub-assemble everything, but I don't do so very much now. Now I more leave sub-assembly just things I absolutely can't reach, like a rider, like a motorcycle rider or a cavalry rider, and the and the mount and shields.
Yeah, I only sub-assemble for like competition pieces. That's it.
But I don't know if you guys have this, but sub-assembly leaves an inherent risk. Not for the painting, the fact of losing said bit. Because if
Also
you don't
fair.
don't do it very often, you're like, right,
Yeah.
I can do this in sub-assemblies. But if you only do it like once a week or a month, then you come back and you're like, that bit's gone missing. Ow. I now have half a model that I cannot finish. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to have a super professional inception bit here.
Yay. Super professional inception bit. Da-da-da.
Okay, and screen. Boom.
Green baby.
Share. All right, should pop up here in just a second. Oh, here we go. Now show on stream. Here we go. All right. This is the guys. Pay no attention to the hub in the corner of my browser. All right. So here is the Praetorian army painted by Elstonation. And first of all, not only does this army look incredible, okay, but how much monetary value can you really, really put on an army painted by a god emperor? I'm just saying.
You guys blow so much smoke up my ass. I appreciate it.
It's
Yeah.
this is a one of the versions of the guard that they don't make anymore, right?
Yep. So these are all the old metal sculpts. I've basically been sitting on this one for a little while. I was like, right, one day, this I will paint this army up. And basically, another reasoning, I had to change up my boiler recently, and that's an expensive thing, and I've got to buy a new shed. And I was just like, the funds are a little bit tight. And I said, one day these will be like worth it. And I was like, hang on, Garda coming out. Okay, Garda coming out. They don't make these models anymore.
It is definitely a good time to, cash in on people's love for the guard.
Yeah, before the rules actually come out as well, so people are like gonna buy them before they actually know what they can do, and then when the rules come out, they're not. They're like, oh, I don't need these.
Also, the them being out of production also adds that bit of
yeah,
rarity.
Well, the interesting thing is, because I'm a content creator, I was like, okay, right, what can be the angle on this video? So I started painting them up, and I was like, cool, right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do slap chop ×2, and we'll get the result.
Waylander says 1,900 pounds.
Yeah, right.
That's how it happens in a bidding war.
Yeah, that's what's going on at the moment.
Hey, it's the Restless Kaiser from Modeling for Advantage.
Yay! What was I saying? Yeah, someone's going to do Slapchop times 2, so it's not like Slapchop 2.0, it's Slapchop times 2. And then I realized Slapchop does not work on old models like this because they've got not that much detail compared to like new models.
That makes
So,
sense.
so it was like, okay, I'm going to do Slapchop. And I was just like, oh. So then just to go and finish them. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the video. I'm painting them.
Holy crap! Those old school mortars are thicker around than the man is.
Right?
That's thickums.
They could climb in.
Human cannonball.
Yeah, just like Gonzo.
It's Sir, we're out of shells. Bring in the conscripts.
Get in! Get in that tube!
The real use for the penal legions.
Yeah.
While they're loading them in, he says, "I'm useful now."
Those look great. Do you has a link to your YouTube in case there is anyone interested?
YouTube or eBay? Both.
Either. I'm happy to promote it.
Give me a second, and I will find.
And my
something.
screen shares.
Because I do things on the internet.
Kaiser, my brother, so good to see you. I don't know if I said this yet, so I'm going to go with it again. If I can't reach it, you ain't going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Dragon says, "There's a cult. How do I join?" It starts with painting one model with human blood. No.
Right.
Damn, those are sexy paint jobs.
Okay. Right. To be fair, I won't give you the thing for eBay. If you want to have a look for the eBay ones, just go find it. It's on eBay. So, but there is a link for the channel.
Hear that, fam? He said, "Find it your own self."
Find it. It's on eBay.
Love me a striped chainsword. Nice work, mate.
Yeah, right. I was like, I had to do that.
So not only are these models out of print, they were limited edition anyways. All for the Battle of Orcs Drift diorama. I painted some when I worked for GW.
I didn't know they were limited.
So rare and collector's edition.
And all painted. Yeah.
I could do that, painting with human blood.
I could do it. I make it free of charge.
If we see Big D with wraps on his arms next week, we'll know to blame you, Mythos. There is no blame. There is only ascension. Giving to the paint emperor.
I'm here, alright? No need to say that stuff.
All right, let's see. Yeah, so as Oni mentioned, we are having a game in 2 weeks. Blood for the Blood God.
2 weeks.
Did I accidentally become corn? Huh?
It's a week.
It's 1 week?
The 19th, right?
Yeah, the 19th.
Yeah, it's a week.
That is next week. I suddenly have much less time than I realized.
Oh, that's how time works.
You're like, wait a minute. I messed up.
In 2 weeks, it's my actual birthday. And Thanksgiving. Yeah, we had to move the date around because that Saturday, that's my birthday. We're doing Thanksgiving with the in-laws, which, of course, family first.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, I found the heretic and proud of it. So we moved up the game to the 19th, and we're going to get a game in. Heretic, no Dark Angels here. Yeah, we're going to do one of those gaming days.
now that you figured out the date, are you frantically looking around for paints and
Yeah, I mean,
like, oh no, I need to paint.
it's just a friendly game, so there's no like super big commitment to paint. But I would like to have.
If only it's painted and yours isn't.
Actually, I'm playing against Freak.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned I wanted to bring my guard, and Freak's like, "I'll play your guard," and I was like, I was not expecting this.
I thought the whole reason for me bringing the batons that I was gonna play your guard.
You know, I had thought so too. But yeah, Freak jumped in and volunteered, so I will be unless we make other arrangements. But.
So are you not playing now, Oni?
Well, there's gonna be 4 of us, so somebody's playing somebody.
Okay.
Hey, gamers!
I kind of doubt Atlas would want to play me again.
Oh no, he's excited.
Okay.
He was also talking about how we're all feeling like nobody's seen the Votan in action, so it's like, you know, new kid on the block. Everybody wants to play with the new kid, you know.
It sounds like you want to play guard though, so everyone wants to play with the old kid, which is a weird. That's
no. Everybody wants to play it. Yeah. Everybody wants to play against the new army, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody wants to play against me so they can end my win streak.
Yeah.
Everybody has been trying to end his weekend streak. He is currently undefeated in our group, and I don't know how. I do know how. It's Custodies. I don't know. I don't have the solution to Custodies right now, and I'm scared.
See, my gift to you for your birthday is me not bringing my Custodies.
I'm gonna be nice to you and not whip your ass fully, just a little bit.
It's funny because on Freak's birthday he did the opposite. He said they set up the table, and then Oni set his box of models down and said, "Just so you know."
No. I said, just because it's your birthday doesn't mean I'm gonna go easy on you.
It's like Mike Tyson coming to a kid's birthday party. It's just like, right. He wants to spar with me. Whack.
Tick tock. Yeah. You'll borrow my unpainted Votan Mythos. I'm actually really, really excited to play guard. I'm probably going to be. It's probably not the smart thing to do because I'll be learning my army rules right before they change.
It's like.
Now, time to unlearn everything from my first big game. But I'm just, you know, when you first paint, when you get something that's freshly painted, you're like, I can't wait to play with this. And I've got a whole army of that right now. So on Monday, I did a power hour of painting, and I primed all 30 of my regular Lasgun guys. And I should be finishing up the special guys soon. The heavy weapons teams, the melta-guns, and the autocannon team, so I can start making a start on. My bum still hurts. Freakaliciousness. Good to see you, brother. It was Custodies. They don't use lube. But yeah, so I
golden thing.
If I can put down at least the because they're going to be mostly green anyway. If I could put down my shades, highlights, and you know, just all my colors of green, knock out a couple of the details, I think it'll be majority painted by the game time. But that'll give me a drive to really get a lot of painting done this weekend.
It's a weird thing. You know, people talk about the drive to do painting, or like Hobby Mojo, or like Defunct. I don't have that. It's just a default. It's like this happens.
Yeah, I just like to paint.
Yeah.
I just paint because I like it, not because there's a reason to it.
Yeah, I just do it, and like if I don't like painting that, I'll paint something else, or I'll build something. Or
that's exactly how I am too.
For me, my creative energy is kind of tied to my emotional energy. So like if I have something rough going on at work or something like that, then that's like I love painting, but that's
Yeah.
usually what zaps my painting mojo. It's just like, ugh, I don't want to
What
deal with this.
what do you do when you're in like the I don't want to say the downer element, but when it's been like a rough day, what do you do to like try and combat it? Do you do like play games and stuff instead, or
Yeah, okay, that's gonna sound okay. If the CIA is listening,
it's like I
uh,
smoke a lot of something?
no, it's I just put on usually a game that I don't have to think of. Like I love RPGs like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, stuff like that. But if I'm having a like I'm just not feeling it's either a beat 'em up kind of game or
Okay.
like a Call of Duty or Left 4 Dead or something where I can just shoot a lot of people in the face.
See, interesting with that. Like that makes me a little bit worse because it gets my heart rate up and it gets my adrenaline kicking a bit more, which is not necessarily. I try and like wind it down, so I try and like go into a semi-comatose state, but I don't like. It's weird when I'm in a downer state. I don't kind of nothing stops me. Still, I'm like I'm just gonna sit here and ponder away, and but I usually stick on. To be honest, Frost and Fist or something like that, and be like, yeah, cool, just listen to these guys for a bit, and just let my brain do something else.
And then lately, for me, I think those things, even though they can be a little more adrenaline intensive,
Hmm.
it's because they're almost autonomous.
Okay.
They're largely twitch reflexes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Is it a little bit of stress relief as well? A bit like hitting a
yeah,
punch bag.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna kill this thing and feel better for it.
Although lately, I've come to find that I've come over to my desk and just stared at the screen, not knowing what to put on. Like, I've put on all the games I usually do to, mellow out,
Mm,
and I don't find a lot of pleasure in them at the moment.
okay, okay.
And so I'm like, I don't. Yeah. So I just get here staring at the screen, like, what should I do now? And then the next thing I know, I've sat and vegged for
Yeah,
however long.
I found out that's like potentially not to sound bad, but it's potentially one of the worst things because when I do that, I've done nothing, and then when I have to like, I go, what did I do? I was like, nothing. I just stared at my desk, and nothing got achieved. And it kind of makes me in a downer state, so I kind of forcefully make myself pick things up. Or I think if building is usually my stress relief, I build things.
I can definitely relate because sometimes when I've sat there and done nothing and just like I don't know what I want to do, and then I feel bad that I've wasted my day, especially if it was a
Right.
day off or whatever. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, now I've done nothing with my day off, and it's
Yeah.
almost time to go back to work. And they're just like, oh,
Ye- Yeah, saying that, there is times when you're just like, I'm just gonna stick on Netflix and I'm gonna sit here and not do anything.
I
And then
did,
like you wake up.
I did spam Olive House in about 3 weeks.
Ah, okay.
Uh, the medical show,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hugh Laurie, right?
Hugh Laurie. Yep. A lot of people just talk about what a drama it is and how it's super tense and whatnot, but I find that sometimes it's hilarious.
So did you know do you know much about Hugh Laurie at all?
No, I don't.
He is a well known British comedian.
Really?
Like historic, like he was from the era of. Have you ever heard of Blackadder?
No.
No. Just after Monty Python, possibly at the same time. So you heard of Monty Python, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So those guys were a group of comedians in, I think they were either Oxford or Cambridge, but then there was another group of comedians that were in the other one that were like Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry, Rowan Atkinson, um, Rick Mail. So a lot of the people that you might have known as British comedians, like Mr. Bean, all that lot, and
Hmm.
they were in the other university, and they set up a whole group of comedies and stuff like that. And Hugh Laurie was part of that. So Hugh Laurie, if you have a look, him and Stephen Fry did like a long running series of funny stuff. So yeah, check it out. He's quite a funny man.
That's that's adds an extra layer of interest to
I
a comedian doing really well at playing the role of a very miserable man.
yeah, it's really quite strange seeing Hugh Laurie in his older age doing all this serious stuff because we were like, huh? He's the funny guy.
Wasn't he also in 101 Dalmatians?
Possibly,
Huh? I think he's one of the kidnappers.
possibly. But yeah, check it out if you want to see funny things. Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie.
Waylander says, "Can you imagine how OP Custodes and Grey Knights would be if their rules were fully lore accurate? That would be very impressive. Although it depends on who's writing too, because sometimes it's like one custody can hold off a whole battalion of Space Marines, and then another writer will just have like one Space Marine punk a custode when he's not looking."
Yeah, it's just like, die.
Freak, who broke your ass, mate? Damn custards. It was a fun game though. Modeling terrain and minis is a hobby in itself. The game of Warhammer is another. I definitely agree with that. You know, it's some people are just in for the gaming aspect. They're not in for the hobby aspect, which is fine. And some people are the other way around. They don't intend to game. They just like to paint.
Yeah, I find I'm not that fantastic at the gaming side of things because I get really competitive. I need to not do that.
Oh yeah, I remember when you were on Chili Gore Gamers. There was the whole bit of you started a what was it a league for Blood Bowl,
Oh.
and then you got very competitive at it, and then no one could beat you, and no one wanted to play you anymore.
Yeah, the lizard man was just wrecking face every single game, and to the point where I kind of worked out the formula. It was just like, no matter who you are, what I'm gonna do is smash you in the face and then steal the ball and then run really, really fast to the end zone. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. And everyone was just like, yeah, we don't want to play you anymore. I was like, that's fair. That's fair.
What team were you playing?
Lizard man.
Okay.
They just, as soon as all your Saurus have got block and some of the skinks have got like an extra agility or catch or sure feet or something, it just becomes mayhem because they.
Well, I would play as the necromantic horrors.
Okay. Yeah,
I know you said horrors, but I heard necromantic horrors, which may not be a bad way to go.
Yeah, could be interesting.
Huh?
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like if if they were an attractive one, there could be worse people to res my body. I'm just saying.
We're going into weird territory here, guys. Like undeads. Like we all know it. Let's not say it.
The Freak says my face is numb, and there's some love for him in the chat. Everybody wishing for him to feel better.
Yeah,
Y'all,
Freak, miss ya.
y'all don't have to feel bad for him. His face is numb because he's had the good stuff.
No.
He is toasty.
Toasty Freak.
Now, because I have to make it weird, Google.com. Sexy necromancer.
No, don't put that into Google. That's you are gonna get some weird adverts popping up.
Next thing you know, you're just gonna hear a loud knock on his door.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. We don't condone that kind of search. Don't know why they'd be British. But.
Well, technically, it's gone international now since you're on the stream.
Yeah, that is. It's like, we had a Brit on your stream. We had to come get him. We're gonna come get you as well. Don't worry, all expenses trip to London and to jail.
Yes, this is Interpol. Could you open the door, please?
Yep, Freak is spending the night with his friend Martel. Also, there's liquor involved.
Huh. We may have experienced American prisons, but now we're going to to the British prisons, and yeah. Oh.
Well, hopefully they like our Chippendales act just as much.
Yeah, they probably would. They, yeah, probably like it a bit too much. All right, brother, you're mine now. Sorry, what? Uh,
Okay. Oh, freak. Since you're on Freakoliciousness, if you remember this, hey, have a good night, Steve, my man. Get that beauty sleep. Although you say you need my beauty sleep, but some say you've already had just the right amount.
hmm. Yeah, because Mythos is at half mast.
Also, we can put you into a sexy necromancer costume.
If you show up in a wizard's robe with nothing underneath, I'm leaving.
Oh man! And then going back to the whole blood ninja bit, I take out my wizard's cloak and hat. Oh, okay. Elston,
Mm,
early days of the internet stupidity. Have you ever read the chat rooms of Blood Ninja?
I have not. No, this is new to me. What is this?
Okay, well, definitely not appropriate for stream, but I will send it to you after
Okay,
the stream. It is
wonderful.
going to be the dumbest, most ridiculous thing.
Ah, I
Is
love.
that the same one where he says that he's a rhinoceros? Is that the same one?
Oh, this is amazing. I love this kind of stuff. The fact that Mythos is trying to keep it in a drink right now and not let it go.
I take out my wizard's cloak and hat.
Yeah, this sounds incredible. It's like when I introduced people to Future Man, and people didn't believe me on how great it was. And people should go watch Future Man. It's one of the best things ever conceived of. I need to go rewatch it again. The synopsis of it is just fantastic. If I read it out, if I sort of explain it, it just makes it sound incredible. Oh, and well, a lot of people think not, but guy manages to complete a computer game, and because he completed the computer game, two warriors from the future come from the future, time travel, because now he apparently is the chosen one. But what he actually is just a janitor in a herpes facility, medical facility, where they're making possums ejaculate persistently to the point so they can find a cure for herpes.
Okay.
Things in the factory, and there's just crates of dead possums where they make them ejaculate until the point of death. And you're like, what? What? And then he has to there's a point where he has to hide from someone, and there's two bins. There's one full of towels, and then there's one full of dead possums.
Oh
And he
no.
jumps in the wrong one. Also the two warriors are called Tiger and Wolf. So the wolf
That's
is the man and tiger is the female. And yeah, they also as well, when they get stressed, they have sex to like relieve stress. So they'll just get it on somewhere. And they treat it as like a kind of like exercise. They're like, yeah, get it, ah, good, we're good now, let's go. And then you're like, okay, it's incredible.
I
Anyone
have
should
to
go
check
watch.
this out.
Yeah, Future Man. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that is where I just binged House. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to check it out.
Future Man. Also, as well, the last season they get time traveling Osama bin Laden, who apparently is the architect of a master plan. So yeah, There you go. That is my advertisement for Future Man. Everyone should go watch it. I find it incredible.
Boop.
Mythos, is it sinking in a bit now that you need to get your army done within like a week, ready for the game?
It is.
Because you've gone a bit more quiet and more focused on painting, and I was like,
Must paint
realize,
faster.
yeah, he realizes there's only a week now.
I honestly, legit thought I had 2 weeks.
No, no. When you
Nope.
said the 19th, that's why I was like a little bit hesitant. I was like, that's a week and a half away. You thought surprised you still thought it was 2 weeks after I said it was.
You can do
You have to understand, dates sneak up on me all the time.
You can do it, buddy. Pull out an Elstonation. Don't pull off an Elstonation. That's bad. Pull out an Elstonation, and then you'll be fine.
Pull out on Elstonation.
No.
That's what I heard.
Okay. I think I need an adult.
I am the adult.
No! No. It's not cool.
I am the adult. No.
So does that mean that some of his essence will transfer into you? Is that what that means?
Oh no. And then it makes Elston a worse painter.
Oh, the connotations of that. The wording was incredible. Travel into you. It's like it's a journey.
Also, I'm now imagining like Elston, leaned up against a wall outside of a liquor store, having a drink with someone, sharing his life stories. Like, I used to have superpowers, What happened to you?
Mythos happened.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Speaking of the game, is the Votan still strong? I'm playing Oni. Should I play the list I used against the Custodes or a more fluffy, less competitive list? Does anybody have that answer? Has anyone played against the Votan here?
No, I play Heresy at the moment, so I got no idea. And I'm an id player in 40k, so we just everything's food.
You're a Xenomorph player in 40k.
Yeah. His nids are the coolest.
So what I would suggest, Alice, is to bring some Bengay.
Is he going to be sore? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, he said, bring it. He said, bring it.
You know what? Honestly, I have no idea. Because some of the bat rips that I've seen with the Baton, yeah, they do good, but they wind up losing the game points because they're very slow moving.
I mean, maybe that was the original intention. It's like they are absolute powerhouses, but they
Yeah.
cannot get anywhere very fast.
Yeah.
There used to be the problem, quote unquote, that Tau used to have is absolutely destroy stuff on the table, but lose on objectives.
And that's the whole point of objectives, isn't it? It's like force people into playing a like funner game.
G says Adventure Man.
Adventure Man, future Adventure Man. That's it.
Also, he's now on his orc account.
Kentucky.
One of these days, I'm actually going to record a video for this, so I shouldn't do this now. Except now I have a week to paint this.
Yes.
But
Also, the other problem that content creators have, they go, "Oh, cool! I'm going to do a video for this. Oh, wait, I've got no time to do that. Oh, okay, I'm just going to paint this. Okay, cool. Now I forgot to do content. Oh, wait, 4 weeks has gone by and I've still done content. Yay. Okay.
that's how I ended up in the no content zone.
Yeah, I mean, it like for people like this is gonna sound weird. For people of our age, when it comes to YouTube channels and stuff like that, it's kind of like I think like young channels have the drive to like push more, but when you've been doing it for like a decade, you're kind of like, I don't really have to. Right? Like, it's easier not to. But it's really disappointing when all these younger channels are doing it and they're getting so much more love.
You know, when I slowed down my content I was doing when that year I moved out to, when I moved out to the farm for a year and didn't really have the internet speeds to put out content. And that year is when I started like doubling the amount of models I got painted, and I think I kind of like really came to enjoy how much more stuff I was getting painted when I wasn't also trying to edit videos.
Right.
And yeah, I've not really come back from that.
Yeah. Because some people really don't realize how long it takes to edit a goddamn video. Especially if you want to do all the fancy stuff, which I'm doing these days. You're just like, oh, this is going to be like 2 weeks worth of editing. So trying to like get it right.
Yeah, for me it was just basic editing, but you know I think part of that was just the fact that I was still learning, you know, a novice skill set. But yeah, you do like really good cinematography now and all the bells and whistles on your editing.
I'm still very amateurish compared to like what a lot of other people put in, and like seeing what other people go through, I'm like, okay. But I've also kind of come to the realization that you don't need all of it. Like a lot of people do. Like you see those big lights, you know, that big things, like the big tent things that they have going mounted on. I don't have any of those. So I'm doing everything off of like basically my desk lamps and stuff. And I realize it still works. So I don't see the point in buying big lights. But
Also, I like that you do mood lighting a lot with like your LEDs and stuff like that.
yeah, to be honest with you, that's probably one of the best investments you can get is like one of these little box things.
Atlas's comment.
Yeah, you just
Since
change
before our game, I need to find the rest of my teeth after getting them kicked in by custodians a few weeks ago.
So, also talking about that Atlas, and I don't mean to like twist around or yank everyone's change, but I'm going to bring it up in the group discussion tomorrow, see how everyone feels. But Oni brought up a good point earlier that he and I did agree to a game before we had arranged the birthday game day. And if everyone's okay with that, you know, I'm going to try and honor that. And so if Freak's okay with it, you'll be playing against Freak instead.
If not, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much an all day thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll be able to get our game in after.
We always say that, and then we run out of time before, like, I leave somewhere around halfway through the second game.
That is true.
The land fortress has been rattle canned. Nice. I forgot what color scheme you going with. Is it
doing
orange?
a mirror. He's doing a mirror conglomerate, which is the same one that I'm doing. Red baby.
Very, very nice. Elstonation, it's not channel age, it's just age. Channel 18 months, me 55. Easy to put off making videos because it's a nightmare keeping up with the kids. That's also
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
that is also very true. You just get to a stage in life where you're like, yep, I could, or I couldn't. Sometimes couldn't is better than could.
And and like the video editing is just one aspect, but also like everything you do, whether you're doing a battle report or painting or whatnot, everything takes almost 3 times as long as it would normally take you to. And so,
Yeah,
sometimes you're just like, I just want to paint, hurry up and paint this and get it out the way.
yeah,
I mean, it's like, I'd rather not take 3 hours to paint this one thing, or
yeah.
by the end of a whole model, I really don't want to have to take 3 weeks to paint this one thing.
But the other thing I've learned from it, doing all of this for all of these years as well, is also seeing all the like young bloods. I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call them young bloods because I can.
Young blood.
Is they do all of this stuff, and the amount of times they go full bore into it, and then they just kill their own hobby by
Oh
just
yeah,
making it a business. And I'm very much in the mindset of like, this is still my hobby. Like the YouTube comes secondary. I appreciate all the like attention and stuff I get. Don't get me wrong, but it's still very much that is secondary to me doing hobby stuff. And I think it comes across in like videos as much as people try to put on the fakeness of the presenter element, because that's the thing when you do your YouTube videos, you kind of switch into presenter mode, and
sure.
it goes all a bit strange. My camera's gone blurry. Um, if you're not feeling it, it comes across regardless if you're trying to lie. And you can tell by I don't know if it's just because I've been watching it for a lot of years. I can tell when presenters have had enough, and it's just the small things they say and the little micro like expressions and stuff like that, or just the way they speak about stuff. You're like, yeah, you don't enjoy this anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I very much never want that to happen. So I will
that's fair.
always curb stomp my YouTube enthusiasm if it's getting in the way of my actual hobby. Um,
That's fair.
yeah,
I think that's kind of what I've I've fallen into is just I started enjoying the painting more when I wasn't thinking about what can I make out of this.
right, right. It's very much a case of like, I can just sit here and enjoy it, and I think it's seeing the stress. A lot of content creators get stressed, and you're like, dude, when when did this become a stress thing? Either that, or they just don't enjoy painting. They're like, well, that screwed your hobby up, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I think that's to be fair. Actually, I think I've been trying to like phrase it in my head of what my kind of goal is with YouTube, and I think I kind of have it is to prove to content creators that you can still be a hobbyist and do YouTube, but you can't be the best YouTuber.
that's fair.
Um, but you definitely can still do hobby stuff and paint a lot and be a good hobbyist. I think, yeah, I think that's kind of my goal for the moment, is just to teach things like here's fun hobby whilst also doing YouTube.
Yeah, it is definitely sad when you see someone lose their enthusiasm for the hobby portion
Right, yeah, it's a,
or the
yeah,
game portion.
Yeah. Oh, any Porsche. It's mainly because it's like someone as part of the club is now left the club.
Yeah.
Is basically the deal of it. And you're like, oh, I really enjoyed hanging out with that person, and now they're gonna go and just drink as their hobby, or do airsoft, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
it,
definitely wish I had more of my brothers back in the hobby. That would be cool.
mm, it is what it is. It's life. It does that stuff.
Though we touched and went our separate ways.
Though we touched tips, tip, 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 tip.
My okay, so this will be the red Remir because his 40k squats will be Voton specific, and the Necromunda ones are going to be his construction workers. Very cool.
Yeah, cool, 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 cool.
Separate color schemes for separate intentions.
Nice. So, you guys, you've been talking about 30k a bit.
Yes.
You haven't. We kind of pulled the trigger, but not played a game yet, right?
Yes. In
I
fact,
played.
oh yeah.
You've played a game. Okay. What did you think of the game so far, Oni?
Love it.
Yeah, right. What did you think of the reactions? Did you do?
I still need to get used to it
Mm,
because
right.
there were a couple of times. So the game that I played wasn't really like a beginner game. It was like a mini tournament. I just went
Okay.
ahead, just jumped into it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Uh, yeah, I need to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
but
did
yeah,
you?
I do like it a lot more than 40k because there's really not like stratagems or anything that I have to keep up with or command points or any of all that micromanagement stuff.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
really have to worry about any of that stuff. Um,
The and it kind of makes it in an odd way. It's a lot Mythos, if anything, I could sell 30k to you to get you kind of enthused by it, and anyone that actually is interested with it. The amount, oh sorry, the probability of your own units dying in your turn is astronomically high.
yeah,
It's incredible. You're just like, and to the point where you really like you're not sure if you want to shoot things. You're like, in 40k, if you got like a Tau Devilfish or something like that, or a Hammerhead, you go, right, I'm going to shoot that knight. In 30k, you'd think twice about doing that. You're like, I'm not sure if I want to do that because what he's going to do is that other one is going to shoot you back.
yeah.
And it's a really high
So
probability. You're
30k
gonna,
really captures the whole like back and forth of a war of it all happening at the same time.
right, and it's quite often as well that it's what's quite nice about the reactions. It basically it interrupts stuff like it's a nice substitute for stratagems because it kind of causes the interrupt and fluke mishaps to be really quite high and probable. Um, so like in 40k, your strategy might be, oh, these guys in melee guys, they're going to charge into combat. But if your melee guys charge like a heavy weapons team with big guns, they're probably going to die before they actually get into combat
Yeah,
because you're going to go and shoot them. Well, sorry, I'm going to charge them. They're like, I'm going to shoot you first before you do that. And then
yeah,
one guy gets into combat and he realizes he's outnumbered quite rapidly.
yeah.
So it's a wonderful little thing of basically it keeps you so involved basically to just because you have to stay engaged, otherwise you are
Keeps
going
you on your
to
toes.
yeah, right. The entire game is you are involved in this because if someone shoots you, you're like, well, I'm gonna shoot you back. I don't care if I'm gonna die, you're gonna die as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. Um so
I
yeah,
do like the duels too.
yeah, challenges are wonderful. they're basically the old Mythos. Do you ever remember the old challenge mechanic from
Yes, from
7th
seventh.
edition? Yeah, so it's still that. They but with the way it all works now, they seem. I remember challenges in 7th edition used to be a way of like kind of cheating the system a little bit. So you're like, I declare a challenge, and then you're like, oh, my piddly little sergeant will take it or something like that, and basically it wouldn't cause too much of an issue. But now with the way leadership works, it works like old Warhammer Fantasy rules.
Interesting.
So it's like combat results. So for example, if you killed 3 guys,
Hmm.
but they killed 1 guy, you therefore win by 2. It's like the 2 numbers play off against each other.
Oh yeah, I've seen that in a couple of like battle reports.
Yeah. So you win by 2, and that minuses from their leadership when they do a test. So if you win the combat, they then have to do a leadership test. But if you've won by 2, then it's -2 to the leadership. So wonderful. I'm making it sound so great with all this maths.
It makes sense.
Once you get the hang of it, it's awesome. But yeah, the initial maths point's a bit like once you got the hang of that though. But now because of the way challenges work, if you kill that sergeant like 6 times over, that's 6 points of leadership that come off. Essentially, so you can still win combat by killing the sergeant really, really well. Yeah, it's weird, but I'm trying to sell it, but I'm not doing a very good job. But okay, it's just awesome. Just do it. It's just amazing. I've got to hold on to this gun because it's got contrast paint all over it. I'm just gonna hold this like this. Wait for my camera to get back in focus. No,
All right, posted this here. Check out Elstonation's channel, and this is his newest video about his latest special project. Elstonation, my brother, what can you tell me about FAP? What is FAP? Let me Google that real quick on stream. Let me share my window.
Want a live demonstration?
Oh, so right. Operation FAP.
Oh, just real quick, I didn't catch. I think he's already probably gone because I missed it earlier. But Waylander went back to sleep 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Later, taters, love your face. Big loves
Oh,
to you
good.
too, brother.
Good night. So
I feel that.
Operation FAP.
Operation FAP.
So Operation FAP came about. We were doing War Gamers Anonymous. So I'm part of a podcast with Pickle called War Gamers Anonymous, and yeah, we were doing it, and we had Ben on, and I'd been come up with this idea. I was like, I want to finish all of my projects. I want to do.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you said both you and Pickle were fapping on the podcast.
Oh, don't you worry.
The FAP hadn't come around yet.
We are
sorry.
We are at the very tip of this innuendo iceberg. It's about to get insane.
All right. Sorry. Proceed.
Don't worry. So I was like, I want to do all my things. I want to finish all my projects, and this just kept on lingering on it. And I was like, the Google FAP or fapping, and I was like, genius. So we basically just coined this phrase of like, oh, this is Operation FAP. They're like, sorry, what? I was like, FAP. Let's finish our project. They're like, right. There is a method to it. I'm not just using the word FAP. Well, I am, but the idea is to do like the batch painting on the entire backlog of miniatures. So the concept is when you do batch painting, you do all of one color and all of another color and all of the next color, and I want to do that with kind of as best I can with my entire collection of minis. So current stage I'm working on is I've assembled everything. I'm now in the stage of priming everything, and then I'm going to zenithal everything. So I basically eliminate all the steps that I can. I don't think I can do base coat on everything and then do the next coat on everything because I will generally lose my mind. But yeah, it's the actual philosophy behind it is to complete as many steps as possible on the entire collection rather than just do an army project, then move on to the next army project. It's like, let's think grander, let's think entire collection. So I thought, okay, finish all projects. So first off, we need to FAP to get this done. Like, this FAP will be my masterpiece. And when I finish this FAP, I will stand there in all my glory and marvel on what I've done.
You probably need a nap afterwards.
Yeah, right. Definitely gonna need a nap. Because it's going to be a long old fapping process, and the fapping might take years, absolute years. But I intend to see this fap through.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm so here for the FAP content that I made another account and subscribed just so that way
Wonderful.
I could be double subscribed
Oh,
to the
cool. So
FAP content.
you get double fapping exposure.
Right.
Awesome.
And if I'm watching on my computer with the mouse in one hand and I'm scrolling on my phone, I
Mm,
can have FAP going in each hand.
mm, like a two-handed fap.
Right, right.
Yeah. Nice, nice. It depends. Are you alternating with both hands?
It feels weird to keep the same rhythm, you know.
Yeah, so
I
sometimes you alternate it, but sometimes it causes a
right.
existential stretch and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I'm generally fapping every single day now. Um, I wake up, I fap, I go to work, then I come home and I fap a bit more.
is that is that is that right? I am. That can't be right. I,
Well, I
according
guess
to
I've been
the
doing it wrong.
according to the according to the Melon app, it says we dropped to 0 viewers.
It's-
Oh no, five. We have 5.
They're censoring
It's
us.
just the app.
Like, these people are being too crude. Take them off the internet now.
We actually somebody reported us for inappropriate content, and we've actually had our stream shut down mid-show once.
Not really? What were you doing?
And let me tell you, we say a lot of crazy stuff on this channel. And whatever we were talking about that night when we went back and looked at why our stream was shut down, it didn't explain why. We just got an email notification saying that we had been reported for inappropriate streaming, and basically it was just the YouTube bot, auto disabling our broadcast for a little bit.
I bet that was actually just someone like accidentally clicked on a button while they were fapping, and then
But
yeah.
it was kind of hilarious because of all the things that we say on the channel. That was like when we went back and looked at it, it was one of the tamer episodes that
like,
got
this
shut
is a
down.
pretty normal evening, yeah, just working away. It's like okay, right,
I was
yeah,
like, man, imagine if they catch us on a good day.
right, right. Get on. So yeah, fapping's a thing. It's what I do on a daily basis now. It's my goal in life to finish my fap. I might. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to complete this fap, but it's it's a life choice.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Who doesn't want to finish, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's the point in starting if you're not going to finish?
right. Um, the yeah, it's relatable, and let me tell you, I think that this is a worthy cause you've taken up. And I
Mm,
have a feeling that while you finish all projects,
mm,
you're going to have a lot of guys behind you.
mm. I mean,
I mean,
when I,
Mythos said he would pull out of you, so
yeah, yeah, it's just you pull out of the project. Well, the thing is, it was such a grand idea that I had to tell people what I was doing as well. So I had to tell people on the internet and show them.
You share the experience.
It was
Speaking of
experience.
speaking of showing people, I'm going to ask you a question, you gents, a question that I don't think we've ever asked any other guests before because, usually we have more decorum than this.
Right,
We've all been young once.
right. Where's this
Either
going?
of you ever been caught?
Well, fapping.
Yeah, finishing your project.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes at weekends you spend a little bit too long on it, and then you come in like, "Are you done yet?" And you're like, "Oh, just another couple of minutes." So,
Man,
if we're going to the real life thing, I'm not going to answer that question because it's rather rude. Rather rude. I'm turning to my British self there. It's rather rude. I don't talk about these kind of things on shows.
right.
How dare you? Us Brits, we don't do that kind of stuff. But definitely we do. Definitely we do. In fact, we're probably the worst for it. Yeah. Jeez.
So,
Jeez.
little TMI. I like telling weird stories like this on the show. They usually garners a reaction.
It's fine. I tactfully navigated away from the conversation. Like, I need to talk about something else and make this funny, so I don't have to actually answer it.
I we used to live in a place where
Just
the
just to briefly interrupt, are we going to get shut down? Like the stream stopped again for inappropriate because
no, no, I won't be graphic.
okay. I don't
But
even need to know like the basics to be honest. But go for it. Go tell the story. I'm
but
not sure I want to know, but go for it.
we lived on a property whose foundation was just slightly off kilter, and so the doors weren't perfectly rectangular anymore. They were
Did they
slightly off.
did they swing open randomly?
No. It wasn't
Okay.
that off kilter.
Okay.
But there would be plenty of times where a door would look up, appear to be shut, um, and not be.
Okay.
Now, of course, for safety reasons, the uh, the the doors, the external doors, the front and back door, had
Right.
been adjusted so that way they did fit properly. But all
Okay.
the internal doors, there was a chance that a door could be very perfectly locked, shut. You heard the click and everything, but
Hmm.
because it was a little off kilter, just the right amount of pressure would just pop it right open.
Like a strong breeze or something.
Yep.
Oh, I could see where this is going, but
And I was old enough to drive at the time, and yeah, so uh,
something happened.
my mom popped in to ask me to drive her somewhere. The question never came out. It was just door open, door shut,
It's like,
never
oh,
spoken.
it's like, don't talk Don't say anything. This never happened.
Bet that was an awkward drive.
Huh?
So-
I bet that was an awkward drive.
Nope. Nope.
because it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Did- I'm sure at that point it was decided, you know what? Nobody needs to go to the store that badly.
Yes. Yes. I'm okay currently. He's okay. We're all okay. I'm going back.
Maybe she just took your situation into consideration and being nice enough to let you finish.
It's just like I'm gonna give him 5 minutes.
Yep. It's never been spoken of. No, in the on TV and stuff where that happens, there's always the talk.
Yeah.
Thankfully, never happened, never mentioned.
I mean, this is the point where I'm so happy that I am not a parent because and to all the parents out there, you probably never well, you might have thought this. Guess what? Your kids are doing it. They are. Well, it depends on the age, obviously. That's like just put that proviso in. But yeah, as soon as they hit young adulthood, it's happening. It's happening. And yeah, I don't know how my brain would process that if I was an adult. I'd be like, yep, nope.
Did you say if you were an adult?
if I was a parent, if I was an adult, no, I'm still a child, still a full man child.
Well, we are apparently, the right size.
Yeah, that is true. I never quite grew up. Yeah.
I don't bring it up very often because, everybody gives you so much crap about your size. But I think you're like, we think we talked about it before, and you're like an inch taller than me.
Yeah, something like that. The weirdest thing, right? I went to ChillCon not that long back in summer, and like all the guys, like all the YouTubers and stuff are there, like all the people that have like seen me throughout the years and stuff. And the general consensus goes, "You're not that small." And I was like, "No, I know I'm not. You all bastards just keep on like saying I am." It's
Then they
like,
turned it around on you like it's your fault. Like, you're not as small as you make out to be.
yeah.
What?
I'm like, I did what? Um, yeah,
I don't advertise being small.
yeah.
Jeez.
I do take the Mickey out of myself, but yeah, don't proclaim it's awesome being short.
Man, tall people live a different, live a different life.
Yeah, right. They don't quite have the short man syndrome. Like I don't get like it's hard to explain short man syndrome to people because it's like the Jack Russell. Like, here's the thing: do you guys have Jack Russells in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, to just explain the sort of analogy, Jack Russells are yappy little buggers because they're terrified of everything. So they have to like be aggressive to stand their ground. So like short man syndrome's a weird thing because it's like if someone big comes along, there's nothing I can really do to stop them. So I've got to figure out something else. Whereas other tall people might be big and they'd be like, oh, well, I might be quicker, but I'm still like big. It'll be a thing. Short man, I'm like, if he picks me up and throws me, I'm done. So, yeah. Short man syndrome. It's a wonderful thing.
Yep. Almost forced to be aggressive in those situations by nature.
Right? It's weird. You're like, I don't want to be aggressive, but I am being aggressive. I'm like, why am I being aggressive? Why is this happening?
Because if things escalate for more than a minute, I'm done for.
Yeah. All I can do is run. That is all I have on my side.
See, I'm a gimp. I can't even do that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, how do I get out of this situation? But you see it like nature as well. Like large animals are relatively more passive than like smaller animals.
Yeah, gentle giants.
Yeah, it's- and the reason is because they're bigger than everyone else and they don't care. Little ones, we gotta fight.
Except for my shepherd. She is only aggressive with tiny dogs.
Ah, okay, that's not sure what that entails. Little dog, angry at this one.
She just hates ankle biters for some reason.
Uh,
She gets along just fine with cats, but ankle
uh,
biters.
yeah, they're bastards. So
Sometimes we'll be at the dog park or whatever, and people ask me, they'll come walking by with their pet, and they're like, does your dog play nice with others?" I'm like, depends on how big yours is.
yeah, yeah. My dog's like pretty good with other dogs, unless another dog gets excited and gets in his face. At which point he's like, "Right, I've had enough of this." And you could just see it happening. It's quite interesting because they'll like sniff each other's bits, whatever. But he'll like sniff for a second and then stop. But if the other dog stays there a bit too long, he's like, "Get away from my privates, get away from it." And then you can just see the timer tick, and then it'll snap. And they're like, "Nope, we're done with this." Oh,
You will sniff my junk for exactly 3 seconds and no longer.
yes, exactly that. It's like any more, and you are getting told off.
All right, I'm gonna switch to my phone because I forgot to charge my iPad and it's about to die.
All right,
So
Oh
brother.
god.
We'll
excuse
see
me
you in a
for a
minute.
little bit. Yep.
So are you painting, Mythos?
I am applying some ultra matte varnish to these little melt-a-gun guys that I've recently, well, mostly finished.
Nice.
I'm because the swamp water gel is shiny. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing the varnish step before I finish the base suit.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense. Yup. 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 Oh, Mythos. 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 Do you have Disney Plus?
Yes, I do.
Have you watched Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the movie?
I have not. I didn't even know there was one.
Ah, Mythos. Right. So you watched Chippendale Rescue Rangers when you were a kid, right?
Of course.
Right. So they've done a live action movie of Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Is
I
is
just looked it
Gadget
up.
still hot? I mean, asking for a friend.
Yeah, yeah. Gadgets in there. Gadgets in there. Um, yeah, but it's real, like live action, like real world. Just want
That's
to let
awesome.
that sink.
I'm gonna have to
Let
check
that
it
sink.
in.
Yeah. Um. Dale is CGI and Chip is animation.
What?
Yeah. So it's after Chip and Dale have done. They've cancelled their series and everything like that. Dale gets the CGI upgrade, so he's CGI, and Chip is still animated. Monterey Jack gets abducted, and they need to go find out what's going on. And they find out there's a company making bootleg Disney movies, and they think Monterey Jack's been abducted and is going to be like cut up and changed so he can be put into another bootleg movie. And guess who's running the operation? Grown up Peter Pan.
So it's all very fourth wall.
Yes, it's incredible. It's incredible. There is Voltrons in it.
What?
Uh, yep. Um, Darkwing Duck's in it. Who else is in it? The amount of references is unreal. I'm not joking. This movie is something you need to see. Oh, and Gadget and the little fly got married and had
What?
babies. There's
It's
fly
crazy.
babies everywhere. It's incredible.
I come back in and I hear something about marrying flies.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Oni, did you ever watch Chippendale Rescue Rangers when you were a kid?
He's a generation behind us.
No,
Uh,
I remember watching it.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Have you seen the live action Disney, the one on Disney Plus, the movie?
The new one that just came out.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I did see my my niece watching a little bit of it.
Okay. I would say if you remember it and it's like a chart of, to be honest with you, if you've watched any kind of animated movies in the past 2 decades, you should watch this movie.
Okay.
It's got so many references in it.
Yeah,
Um,
I read somewhere that they have a lot of like cameos and stuff
yeah,
for other
like
franchises.
yeah, right. It's like basically, I think they've teamed up with DreamWorks, so
Okay.
there's like a load of like Shrek references as well. Um, but there's also Seth Rogen is an animated dwarf in it. He's like a henchman, and there's a bit where they're chasing through a convention or something like that, and the all of Seth Rogen's characters from animated movies all show up at the same time, and they all start laughing, and it's like this weird echo chamber of Seth Rogen laughs. So it's like Pumbaa from The Lion King, Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens, the cricket from Kung Fu Panda. Um, it's just an incredible movie, um, which no one seems to have known about or watched. But it's got Andy Samberg is Dale. Brooklyn 99.
Yeah.
He's the main. He's Dale. Chippendale. He
Yeah,
does the
he's
voice of Dale.
Shy Ronnie.
Yes, yeah, Shy Ronnie. Yeah, he does the voice of one of them. So yeah, really, you need to check it out. It's also got J.K. Simmons as this Play-Doh um, cop made out of plasticine. It's incredible.
Oh, you mentioned Voltron a minute ago.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Did
in
you
it.
ever watch the new?
DreamWorks one.
Yes,
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. A really good one.
I I really loved it too. Like
Yeah.
my top shelf is a huge Voltron with my Imperial Knights right now. Like,
Cool.
uh,
The
it's
that's
so
cool.
cool.
The main thing we started doing though was when they did the transform, was like, is it gonna be a long transform or is it gonna be a short transform? Because they would like sometimes add extra bits in and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Took me a little while to get into the swing of it. Like I think I watched the first episode and then I was like, no, I'm not sure about this. And I came back to it like a month or two later, and then I was like, oh, actually, there's something to this.
I loved it right off the bat.
Mm,
I also feel like Shiro was the definite upgrade from Sven.
mm, yeah.
Sven?
Yeah. I liked the what was his name? The guy with the South African accent. He was there helping her out. Oh, what was his name? The guy that was doing all the ballerina stuff all the time, had the ginger mustache.
Karan?
Karan, that's it. He was cool. He was my
Uh,
favorite
yeah,
character.
he was awesome. He was definitely one of the best parts of the series.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the different take on Pidge too.
Mm. I can't remember too much of the original, so I'm very much going, "Oh, okay, these are these characters." But you got there was that brief episode where there was like they were showing some of the original. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like, it was like, oh, that's what the original was like. That's interesting.
We watched so much of the original when I was a kid because we were in Germany and it was one of the shows that came on the Armed Forces Network.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I really. I like most of the DreamWorks like animated series that they do, mainly because it finishes like, and it's usually a pretty good like ending.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, it like series can just drag out to the point where like just stop. Like you're just trying, but the DreamWorks ones tend to like be pretty good on like having an end point.
I'm
And
so upset because I was collecting the DVDs
yeah,
and I guess sales started tanking.
okay,
Um, I think from what I read online, I think it got kind of divisive, having uh, to some of the viewers. Of course, the internet's always polarized on gay marriage and having Shiro marry a
uh,
dude.
yeah, but that was
Uh,
such a small part. It was like kind of irrelevant.
it's such a small part, but there was protests and stuff over it, and
Really?
eventually they stopped DVD production for the last season. And so
Why?
I have a mostly complete series that will never get finished now. And I'm like, ah,
Dude, like what? That was like almost an irrelevant point of that thing. It was
yes.
just a case of like, yeah,
It was like
yeah,
1 minute of an epilogue
yeah,
and 1 minute of like a previous episode where he's like, oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm dating this guy. And they just
yeah.
kind of like skip over it. It was so
The main
minor.
thing, the main thing about it was just the fact they were having an argument, and that was the main. That was the only point where you're like, oh, why are they arguing? Oh, you're like, oh, that's why they're.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it was so minor, and yeah, yeah. The internet is such a stupid place sometimes. Like
Hmm.
I can appreciate sometimes an agenda is pushed and it's not required, but that was just that was irrelevant.
Yeah.
It was it was okay.
And it's
Yeah,
not even like they were having a quote unquote, you know, argument that would have pushed any kind of agenda or anything. The
no,
argument they were having was, "Oh, I don't want you to go back to war. I'm afraid for your safety. I
yeah,
have to do this." A very normal argument in a kind of series like that.
yeah, exactly. Any couple would have that argument. Yeah, so yeah, that was I can't believe the internet's just weird sometimes.
The internet ruins things.
Yeah, as I said, I can appreciate.
As we have a conversation on the internet.
Yeah, yeah. Internet, goddamn internet, always throwing its opinions around. God damn it.
Keep
Yeah,
in mind, the same internet where Mythos not too long ago said he was gonna pull out.
yeah, yeah. Well done.
And was
Well,
looking up sexy necromancer art.
mm, mm. Gone weird tonight. It's gone weird.
It has. Remember when I said, yeah, the episode that got banned was actually the same episode. This hasn't been that episode.
Yeah, it's yeah. I imagine if Freak was here as well, there'd be all kinds of chaos.
Oh yeah,
All kinds of chaos. The yeah, man. Like agendas are like a weird thing. I don't like some programs push it too much, and you're like, now you're doing it just for some reason that I kind of
yeah.
want to figure out. And then other times it's like that's fine. And uh, yeah, that was not one of those times where I felt like an agenda was being pushed.
Erase your browser history, Mythos.
Yeah, delete, delete,
Uh,
delete, delete.
Stargazers and Robotech for Hellworks. Oh
Nice.
man, Robotech was my first anime. Yeah, also on the Armed Forces Network. Me mentioning I have a mostly complete DVD collection that stopped at the end of production. And welcome to the world of DVD collections
Yeah,
uh, of good cartoons. Yeah.
yeah.
I have not watched the new Bleach, but be fair, I only watched one season of the original. Not because I didn't like it, but because I was watching it on DVD, and I bought season 1 when it came out, and then my local Walmart skipped straight to season 3 or 4 or something like that. And then I was like, one day I'll go find or order online or something like that, the seasons that I'm missing. And then, though, by the time I got around to, these things slip your mind. And by the time I got around to collecting the others,
Hmm.
there was like, oh, we're on season 45 now. I'm like, God dang it.
Interestingly enough, Bleach has just shown up on Disney Plus in the UK.
Has it?
Yeah, so Hulu has the streaming rights for the US. Disney Plus has the streaming rights internationally.
I've got the Hulu Disney bundle, so that works out perfectly.
Yeah.
You have to use a VPN if you want to watch it on Disney Plus.
Well, I've got the bundle with Hulu and Disney Plus, though. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Bleach is on there if you want to. I haven't watched Bleach. It's one on my hit list of ones I need to do. Have you watched Seven Deadly Sins?
I got turned off after the third season. It's
Okay.
just the different art style and
It
yeah.
gets better. It does, but yeah, it can flip around a bit, and it is also as well. Everyone, I know it's the internet. It's a little bit pervy. The main guy is like he's a super badass, but he's a pervert.
Hideki is a pervert.
I fondle your butt because it calms me down.
Just like I'm just gonna see if there's anything underneath here. You're like, hang on.
Yeah, so like there's a huge difference in the art style between one season and the other one. And it kind of threw me off that in one season they would show all the blood and guts and stuff, and then the next one they'd censor it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think I actually focused on that too much, to be fair. I was more.
Oh, I noticed it.
To be fair, a lot of the times with that, it's actually like the voice actors that get me. And the guy who does Meliodas' voice he does like loads of voices. I don't know who he is. I can't remember I think I looked it up once, but like his voice, for some odd reason, whenever he's in something, I'm just like, ooh, this is gonna be cool. And what was the other thing I watched? Black Clover. Any guys watch that?
I love
That's
Black
another one on the to-do list.
That's good. That's good.
Atlas says makes me think of Firefly. There was a series that will never end. Rip.
Yeah, right.
Spoilers for Serenity, like a 10-year-old movie if you've not seen it yet.
20-year-old mythos.
Hey, I have feelings,
Yeah, okay. Look at the time frame.
But an interview I saw with Josh Whedon said the only reason why he killed off Wash in Serenity was because the network, or he was a favored character at the network, and he had just found out that they were going to cancel the show after they had already agreed to do another season, and so that was kind of his revenge. Like, you know what? I'm killing off Wash. I was like, oh.
Oh, poor Alan Tiddock.
At least he did it in an epic way, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He is one of the that actor, Alan Tiddock, is one of my favorite actors on the planet. He is so underrated.
I love Pirate Steve.
Right? Pirate Steve. I be a little bit short on my rent this month. He's also in in Moana. Sorry,
Is he?
Go ahead, man. Yeah, he's the only white non-Polynesian actor in Moana. And you will not figure out what voice he does.
Who?
The chicken. Right?
Hey!
Yeah. Yeah, he does the chicken.
That's awesome. Marco says, "Wah! Good evening, my brother." I love Hey Hey.
Also, as well, have either of you guys seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I've not even heard of that.
I've only seen clips.
It is incredible. It's him and another guy, but it's basically like two hillbillies in the woods, and it kind of sets it up as if it was like a horror movie. So like hillbillies in the woods, like you're all gonna get murdered, kind of style thing.
Right.
But the hillbillies are just normal dudes, and they're like there's basically like a load of like unfortunate things happen, and there's these like teenage group, and they're like camping, and something bad happens to one of the people, and they think it's Tucker and Dale that are like these hillbilly killers. So they go to try killing them, or like try to like stop them, but they keep on running into accidents. Like one of them's like chopping up wood and throwing it into like a saw grind, like a wood grinder.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like throwing wood in there, gets thrown at sawdust, and he's doing that. And one of the guys, teenage, runs, jumps to try and like tackle him, misses, and goes straight into the wood grinder.
Oh no!
The entire movie is just all these teenagers trying to attack them, getting it wrong, and then murdering themselves. And they're like, "What's going on?"
Oh man!
Tucker and Dale versus Evil is incredible.
Hellworks agrees. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
Hellworks says Black Clover, Attack on Titan, Devil's a
Yeah.
Part Timer, and Berserk. I
Nice.
need to finish the last season. I need to watch the last season of Attack on Titan.
So do
My wife and
I.
I have an agreement to finish the last two seasons of Supernatural before we go finish Attack on Titan.
Have you done like the first half of the last season of Attack on Titan? Because they did like the first half, and then they did like the second half or something like that.
So there's a part 3 that's coming out next year.
Oh, is
okay.
there?
You might as well just wait until part 3 is out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought that was going to be the last one, but obviously there's another.
No, so this last season they've broken it up. They're breaking it up into 3 parts.
Ah.
Okay. I did not know that. I'm learning all kinds of things tonight.
And I'm learning about FAP.
Yeah, fam.
Now, if you want to watch a really good anime, I recommend Rent a Girlfriend. That's a really good anime.
Okay.
I don't.
And it's not what you think.
I don't know if I should look that up.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. It's very wholesome.
But even if I have those words on my browser history, I think I might die.
What's the other one? Have you guys watched? Is it Kipo? And is it Age of the Wonder Beasts? It's a DreamWorks one. It's on Netflix. It's not necessarily anime, but it's animation. It's like the same kind of essence of Voltron.
I haven't heard of that one.
That one's quite interesting. It's a bit trippy, but
Yeah, I haven't been on Netflix in like 5 months.
okay.
I haven't been on there. Ever since they got rid of Your Lie in April, I was like, all right, you're dead to me.
Isn't it like? Do you find it funny being adults and everything like that?
I don't want to watch that one because I don't want it to hurt.
Your Lie in April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the. I see a lot of anime through anime music videos because I go to these conventions, these anime conventions like Onicon
But have you watched it though?
Well, no, what I'm saying is those usually like wet my whistle to make me want to like go watch the full series. And so Your Lie in April was one that was very popular at the conventions. And typically one of my favorite events to go to when I'm at a convention is something called the AMV Masters.
Right.
And so they're like top, edited music videos picked, from conventions all over the country and stuff like that. And so many tearjerkers submitted from your line, April. I'm scared to watch that.
You should watch it. You should watch it. I'll watch it with you. We can do like a viewing party.
We'll cry together. Getting back in the seconds. You legends have an amazing night. Last
I'll
note.
hold you and caress you.
Yes. Marco, search history problems with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Atlas, my man. Is it wrong to pick up chicks in a dungeon? That's another one on my to-do list. Do you either of you know how to pronounce this? Oh, no, you watch a lot. You watch a lot of anime. Do you know how to pronounce this one?
Doesn't say Overfiend, does it?
From who?
Yeah. Hajimo, IPO, LPO together?
I don't know if that's an I or that's an L. Hajimino?
I feel like I've seen that title somewhere, but
I don't know if that's an I or an L.
I don't know that one off the top of my head. Have you guys watched is it Rising of a Shield Hero?
Ooh, that's another one people have been recommending to me a lot.
I love the first season.
Yeah. I haven't seen the second season.
I don't like the second season.
Oh, okay. The first season was really good, and I was like,
that's just me though.
Okay, interesting.
You may like it. I mean, don't take the fact that I don't like the second season for it to be bad. No, you may enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Oh, the one about boxing. That's where I recognize the name from. My one of my friends has been sending me clips of that one, telling me I need to watch that one.
Is that the one that's like CGI animation style? Kind of ish.
I don't think so. I think it's traditional 2D anime style.
Okay.
Never again will I watch all 4 Legend of the Overfiend again.
Not Legend of the Overfiend. No, not that one.
Zane, what up, my man?
We'll be monstrous nerds this evening talking about anime.
Where's my beer here?
I'm assuming Freak doesn't really watch animes and stuff like that.
Actually, he's it's one of those things that when he's into it, he's really into it.
Okay.
He's been watching. What was it? I think he's really been into watching High School of the Dead.
Okay.
Lately. So he goes through his phases.
Okay. It's not High School of the Dead. It's the other high school. DXD.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that one. that's not the same anime. That's more close to Operation Fap.
Yeah.
That's on Netflix though, I think.
Is that the one with the titty physics?
That's anime after dark.
Yeah. Very much like fan.
Is that the
fan service one?
Which high school one was the one with the dodging the bullet between the flipping boobies?
I don't.
How's High School of the Dead? Okay.
It's not dodging the bullet. It's he shoots through.
Well, no, she did the backflip and just one.
It's right through.
As one titty flipped backwards and the other one hadn't flipped yet.
Yeah, but he shoots the sniper rifle over the other one while she's lying down because she broke her back.
Oh, don't you love logic?
That's how I always remember that anime. When people are like, "Yeah, it's where this, and this happens," I'm like,
I'm just bummed that anime is never gonna get, or the manga's gonna get finished. 'Cause the author died, and he didn't leave any notes on how to finish it.
No.
His notes just say mortality physics.
Yeah, high school XDX or DXD or whatever is
DXD.
DXD is yeah, guys might be watching that.
I
Yeah, that's
remember.
the
I remember we were having a paint and hangout one night, and Freak was like, "Well, I'm really impressed with the story," and Oni was like, "I bet you are."
no, there really is a story to it.
It's just the way you said it. It was
Oh
funny.
yeah,
there
I
is
bet you are.
yeah, impressed with the story, but you can't just sit there and listen to it. It's very much eyes need to be on. Yeah.
It has some very big stories.
Yeah, I know. I've watched the entirety of it all the way through to the end season, and it's like I
You
was
know,
like,
a new season was announced.
"Who's?"
Yeah,
it's like because it's one of those weird things. You're like, well, it's a guy thing, so I'm gonna watch it. But then you kind of get into the storyline a bit, and then you get a bit confused because you're like, I'm almost emotionally invested in this now. But also, there's a lot of boobies.
very, very similarly, when I worked at GameStop, it was mostly guys, and there was like 2 or 3 girls that worked there, and we used to sell anime back then. And anyways, so now that I don't work there anymore, I can say that we had a drawer of the used stuff that we wanted to buy ourselves, so we didn't want to put it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, there for several of us, the anime was like always the most hotly contested of who was going to be. Very few people actually bought anime in the store because we, the employees, almost always pounced right on it and put it in the drawer. Anyways, there was this one where somebody traded in a whole series, but it was another one of the perverted series that was really thin on story. It was just about the fan service called Ikitosen.
All right.
Oh, I love me
And
Ikitosen.
And
No, there is a story to the Ikitosen.
there is. I just said it's a little thin on story.
It's got a big storyline to it.
Justify this.
It's a tenuous story. Anyway, so the guy above me, the manager who was a rank above me, pulled rank. That was one all of us were kind of drooling over. We're like, I'm getting this one. And anyways, he was there with me and 2 of the other anime collectors that day on shift. And he's like, I'm pulling rank and putting this in my drawer. And I'm checking it out. It wasn't hentai, it was just fan service. And it's like I am putting this in the drawer for me. I'm gonna pull rank and I'm picking it up before at the end of the shift.
Let me guess, it
So
went missing at the end of the shift.
now he ended up bringing back, and he was like, "Oh, this one was kind of a lame story, and this is really just about the fan service or whatever." It's like, okay. He's like, "Yeah, it really sucks. None of you guys are going to want to watch it." So, anyways, as soon as
everyone's like, I can have it.
Yeah, and so I immediately jumped on it, bought the whole thing, and as I bought it, he was trying to shame me in front of the other managers. It was like, Mythos, there's no story to it. It's all fan service. Everybody knows that you're only watching it because there's fan service, and you're watching it for just one thing. I was like, yeah, I like fan service. Beep, and scanned it at the checkout. Beep.
Yep.
I'm not trying to hide that I like fan service. Ring me up.
Did I stutter?
I'm sorry, I don't think you understand how this works.
Like, I'm sorry. Because I only work for my hobbies. That is it.
He's like, also, I'm a nerd. What do you expect?
something happened from the translation from story to image. Inuyasha is another one they won't finish. Yeah,
Well,
man.
I'm just happy there's another season of Dragon Ball Super coming out next year. Because oh dear lord, that takes far too long between seasons.
Which one?
Dragon Ball Super.
I
Oh,
like what I've seen of Super so far. I haven't watched very much of it though.
Yeah,
I got bored of it.
it's kind of it's kind of like if you're a diehard Dragon Ball Z nut, then it's just yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
just, I just, they made Goku seem stupid.
Yeah, he is. He is almost moronic in this one. Like,
Meanwhile, if you go back and watch Z, he's like not.
yeah, it seems like he's taken like a lot of hits to the head, but like a lot of hits to the head. But he, have you watched all the
Well,
Super
if
at
that's
all?
the reason, why isn't Vegeta just as stupid?
Yeah. Well, have you seen like the next level they go to
What is
with
it?
it? Ultra Instinct
Yeah,
and
there we go. Yeah,
Ultra Ego. They so Ultra like if you see the animation of it, it's cool because they actually make it like Tai Chi. It's all like fucking moving weird and like
yeah,
dodging stuff, and I was like, well, that's kind of a cool animation. And he does the incredible ride the beam with a Kamehameha ball. Have you seen that?
yeah,
I haven't seen that. That's
That's
awesome.
it basically someone shoots a beam and you're not allowed to fly in the tournament. So he sort of runs and puts the ball on the beam and then sort of slides up the beam and then face plants him with a Kamehameha right like
Oh,
that
that's
far
cool.
away from the face. And it's so impactful. They cut it about 4 or 5 times and go, ah, all from different angles, just seeing this person get
That's so
smashed in
cool.
the face. Yeah, that's made me super happy. Oh, I'm such a nerd.
yeah. I only finished watching whatever episodes are out because what I'm one of those. Once I start something, I have to finish it.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's all they've got. Everything else so far has been in the movies. Um, so yeah, saying that the movie was quite funny as well. The most recent one, Piccolo's fighting someone and they get sound effects pop out. He's like, "Why can't I see your sound effects?" And it's like, okay, so they're actually calling on it now. Okay.
Is that
maybe
superhero
he's
or something?
Yeah,
maybe he
superhero.
maybe he's seeing sound effects because he's also taken too many hits to the head.
Oh, no, it's like like old school Batman. Where it goes
Mm.
pow and stuff like
Yeah,
that. These people when they're hitting, it's doing that, and Piccolo's like, "Why can I see this?"
that's funny. Well, gentlemen, we are actually at the top of the hour. Time has flown by tonight hanging out with you
Ah,
guys.
yeah, it's been fun, man. Thank you for having me on. We got to talk nerdy things about anime. I'm so happy about that. I
Heck
don't get
yeah.
to talk about that.
I do know usually when you talk anime on the show with the other guys, it kind of gets glossed over because they're not as into anime as you are.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't go anywhere. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, you're talking some weird language now. Okay, I was like, okay,
MD Geist was cool. Okay.
oh, cool.
I think the next one. So, like I said, my wife and I are going to um, uh, finish up Supernatural, and then we're going to be hitting up Attack on Titan. We're
Cool.
watching My Hero as soon as they translate it, but man, it just feels like it takes. We're just sitting
Yeah.
there at the edge of my seat waiting for them to
Oh,
translate. But like,
Yeah, I'm not.
chef's
I'm not
kiss,
watching. I'm not watching that until like
chef's
until they
kiss.
finish that season.
that's
And then
normally why I do this because I hate waiting for each new episode, and I'm
right,
like, oh, but it's just
is it season
So,
6 they're on now? Or is
yep,
it season...
this season's gonna be 25 episodes.
Oh yes,
so hyped. I didn't realize you were also a My Hero fan.
yeah, man.
Who, me?
Yeah, I've got.
No, I mean I knew you are
Oh,
because you and I have talked about My Hero before. I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
Elston was.
I've got I'm planning on doing a video at some point, but I think I'm going to set up a separate channel for it. I've got an All Might figure, and I'm going to be like trying to pose it and model it and paint it. But I won't do it on the Elstonation channel because YouTube algorithm will have a fit. Like, why is anime on a Warhammer channel? Like, okay,
I'm
so
so hyped for that.
yeah, it's
I
it's a
mean,
bit of a way off,
it,
but Bakugo is definitely my
Hold
favorite
on.
character.
Hold on. I'll be right back. I got
I,
I got something.
one of my favorites. I think my favorite is Eraser.
Yeah,
I,
Eraser.
I, my we did a family cosplay going to OniCon a
Right back.
couple years ago where I went as Eraser, my wife went as Miss Joke, and then the
Cool.
kids went as Todoroki and Uraka.
Nice, nice. It's when people start going as Mount Lady or Midnight, and you're like,
Well,
hmm.
hello there.
Hello. Uh, nice.
Ooh, that's awesome.
That's cool. I don't know where my
Oh man, hey, that's one you got to paint on camera, man.
That's cool.
That would be amazing.
Oh, he's not coming out of the box.
Oh, okay, he's at RFB.
Yeah.
All right, quick,
And then
quick little thing, because I don't know whether or not you guys do the things just before we
I
wrap
have the
up.
latest one.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
quick little thing before we wrap up. Have you heard the theory of where time travel is involved with All for One or One for All, One for the
I have
People?
not.
What? And a certain person who has a power who gets One for All. Is it One for All? Is that the one?
One
One
for
for
all.
All.
That's the one Izuku has. All for
Yeah,
one is the bad one.
yeah. So One for All. So there is a theory that Bakugo goes back in time to help out, and he is one of the originals that Thingy gets his power from.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Have a look. There's a theory because there's someone does time travel, and I can't remember who. It might be that little girl. And there's a point where Bakugo has to go back because he gets One for All at one point, doesn't he?
No.
Yeah, if you see the movie, he gets One for All.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm caught up on the movies. Actually, I've just been
yeah.
watching the seasons.
Hero Rising or something. I think it's Hero Rising. Bakugo gets One for All, and
Wow,
him and Midoriya go ape shit. Like,
that's awesome.
yeah, watch it. It goes proper artistic. So yeah, if you get a chance, that movie
I
is.
thought they said that the Hero Rising movie's not canon.
Ah. Okay. Well, then ignore what I just said. But if it is canon,
I may be wrong though.
because it kind of, well, I don't know. It might be. It might not be. But there is there is a theory that Bakugo goes back in time because he's had One for All, and he helps the original person who has One for All learn how to transfer the power, because that was there's an element in it where they're like, how does he know that he can transfer the power when he's just got the power, unless he gets told that he can transfer the power?
Interesting.
Yeah, right. It's a theory in the
Well, they
manga.
kind of explain it in the manga that since his brother gave him the power, he kind of figured that he could transfer the power to the to someone else in order to beat him, since he wasn't strong enough to beat him.
Yeah, I mean, but how would you know you could transfer it the first time?
I mean, his brother could do it.
Well, you could take it, but I mean, if you first got some, I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's a bit like, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, there's a theory that Bakugo is one of the originals that gets it. And if you have a look at all the pictures, you see all the silhouettes of them. One of them
Oh,
is
and
like,
yeah,
one
in
of
the
them,
manga, like in the most current one, they show all
yeah.
of them.
Oh, they show them
Oh,
all.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, he can see
Ah,
all of them. It's not Bakugo.
isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, can you see all their faces and everything
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
I've been
Spoiler
proven
alert.
wrong.
Sorry.
I've been proven wrong. Okay, ignore what I just said. Mythos, finish the show then. Just not rude. No.
He's like, I'm gonna go to the corner now.
Yeah, bye.
I'm going to share again the Elstonation channel because, I mean, I'm sure everyone on this show is already a member of the Cult of Elston. But for anyone who's not, go here and subscribe and watch the newest video on Operation FAP.
Yeah. Get your fat
Um,
ball.
is there anything that you've got coming up you want people to look forward to, or is there I don't know, anything that you've been really into lately that you want to discuss with the people?
Only thing I've really got coming up is I'm doing a thing with Chapter Master Valrak, which is the Iron Warriors, so that's what this thing's about.
Hell yeah.
These are going to be essentially, I think, raffled off. Last time Valrak made 15 grand off of the army that they did, so I'm hoping this lot is gonna eclipse that, hopefully. So that will be coming up in the near future. Keep an eye out for that. I don't know exact dates. I need to get stuff finished first, but yeah, there
That's
will be
awesome.
an Iron Warriors army, which includes this bad boy.
Is
Coming
that
up.
the front that comes with the Kratos, or is that
Yeah,
Y-
no, that comes
Yeah,
with it.
that
that
comes with
really
it.
gives it kind of a cool like Formula One / tank kind of feel?
Jason and the Wheel Warriors kind of style. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
right.
like that a lot.
That Dozer Blade is evil. It's just monstrous.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's
Apparently,
all. I,
my Angels are going to have a dozer blade on their
yeah,
Kratos.
yeah, man. Yeah, that's all I've got going on at the moment. There'll be a video out at some point whenever, but I've not really started working on one right now, so something
Oh,
will come up soon.
actually, there is one other plug, not just your channel and the upcoming Valrak thing. Um, I'm going to link your podcast. Tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, War Gamers Anonymous. I do this with Pickle. Um, it's a random thing where we talk about stuff to do with hobby. Sometimes not. Usually we have snacks as well, so we'll rate food on there. Sometimes we'll review books, and it's generally quite a fun little thing just to put on for about an hour or two ish. Whenever you're driving along, it's quite a fun little thing that I enjoy quite a lot. So yeah, Wargamers Anonymous, go check it out. It's worth fun for your ear holes.
There's the link to the podcast on YouTube. You can also find them anywhere that they do podcasts. Often when I'm on the road, I listen to War Gamers Anonymous on Audible,
Mm-hmm.
but there are other podcast platforms,
I didn't realize we
iTunes,
were
and
on Audible.
yeah.
We're on... Oh, okay, cool. Oh, but I know we're on Spotify, but I wasn't sure we were on Audible. Okay, cool. We're on Audible. Sweet. I've got Audible.
So yeah, check them out where you can find your podcasts. But
Yeah.
I like to do if I'm not on the road. I sometimes like to do it on YouTube, so that way I can leave a comment. If you go to their podcast on the YouTube, you can also see what they're doing,
Mhm.
and so you can actually see Elston's reaction to the what
uh,
was it? The
Relerindos.
tamarind snacks. Yes, the
Yeah.
roller windows. Any of the tamarind snacks, you will love watching Elston's facial reaction.
Oh, what's wrong with people when they made that? They're like, oh yeah, this is tasty. Like,
It
it's like,
is delicious.
it's like what's wrong
Tamarind
with?
is Elston's best friend. Check out the video.
God damn it! What? Do people not have taste buds or like?
They are delicious.
No, no. They are acid. Yeah.
Oni, my brother, any closing thoughts for you, my man?
No, I have nothing right now.
All right, I'm going to drop the link to Oni's OnlyFans so you can check that out.
I mean, it's on hold right now since I'm still recuperating. So
Okay. We got to wait until that throat's all better.
Yeah.
The throat going again.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. One last link, of course, because I don't have it down in the description below where I tell you. Not only do I want you to check out Elstonation, but check out our link tree here, all of the friends of the Frost and Fists. Well, I say all. I'm going to I'm going to offend somebody by forgetting somebody on the link tree, but these are many of the friends of the Frosted Fist. Check them all out and give them subscribe. If you guys like tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an ox and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Oh, smashing so hard his headset came off. If you're watching from the archive, drop some comments down below and feel free to be part of any of tonight's ridiculous conversations. And tonight they did get redonkulous. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to any of our brothers in the link tree, if you're not subscribed to Elstonation, Wargamers Anonymous, and if you're not subscribed to these guys, I know that Onalicious, Freakalicious, and this guy, of course, would love to have you here as part of the pack. So subscribe. Until next time, guys, stay frosty.